Today I have a very special guest with me, a man who is very knowledgeable and rich in soccer tradition in Brown County and other parts abroad. A man that is a great soccer instructor in our area who has had some very good success with a lot of the youth and a lot of the high school players that are playing now and high school players of past. It is my privilege and honor to have with me tonight the one and the only Mr. Dan Silvas. Dan, thanks for joining us tonight.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir. So, Dan, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I've been living in this area since '64. I don't know if you knew it or not, but I was adopted when I was 7 years old.
Okay, I had no idea.
Came over to America when I was 7 from Seoul, South Korea.
Okay.
Been living in Hammersville area for around 20 years or so, and I live between Mt.Orab and Georgetown now, but graduated from Western Brown in '76. All my kids all went to Western Brown. Graduated from Western Brown.
Gotcha. Well, Dan, it's a privilege to have you on the show tonight. It's always a privilege to get an opportunity to talk to you and get a little bit, since I've been working here, I've tried to tap your brain a little bit with some soccer knowledge and figure out the best way to do some things in terms of leagues and instruction and that type of thing. And it's been my privilege to get to know you a little bit better. So, how long have you been involved with soccer, Dan?
Probably around 35 years. From state soccer, recreational soccer, up to club and high school.
Gotcha. We do have the championship game of the adult league taking place right now. So, if you tune into my Facebook page, you'll see Dan and I. If you tune into the Mt.Orab Sports Complex page, you'll hear Dan and I, but you won't see us. But you will see the adult soccer game that's going on. We did have a huge upset. The team just trying to kick it was 7-0 during the regular season, and then they were upset in the semifinals of the tournament by a group of former football players who have picked up some soccer players, former players. Got Trenton Weeks out there, Zach Boston out there, Tanner is out there, and then you've got all-state quarterback from 2015 or so, 16 maybe, Jeffrey Box, which was the quarterback of the Bethel Tigers the last time that they did go to the state football playoffs at Colorado. Dan, what was your biggest inspiration in soccer?
I think it has to do with my girls. Amber and Ashley, they had the passion to play the game, they love the game, and I think that kind of inspired me to learn the game.
To learn the game some more, yeah. I know when I talk to you when you're here, you're always real passionate about getting on the field and getting kids on the field. You talked to me a few weeks ago and you said, I'm getting the itch. I need the itch. I got to be out there. And so you threw a clinic together in a day or two and had 40 or 50 kids here, back-to-back Saturdays or whatever that was. And you had a bunch of kids here. You have a big following is something that I've noticed.
Well, I think there's a lot of kids in this area that play soccer. And if they have a chance to get out on the field, I don't think it's me. I think it's this place right here.
We're happy, and especially me since I've been here. I've been happy with the numbers and privileged with the numbers. We've had a bunch of stuff going on here, and we have done a bunch of things here since October, and none of them have really been a flop yet. And that makes me feel happy because what it lets me know is that if there's something going on in this place and there's kids in this community, they will get involved. And that's what you've got with the kids that you have come to do your clinics. How did you begin coaching? Was it your girls or were you involved before your girls?
It was before. I've got a couple older kids, boy and a girl. They started playing before soccer was real big in this area. They got to the age where they were high school age and they didn't have a high school program in this area. So we started a kickers program, which is junior high, and freshman kids. We went out and played in Hamilton County and Fremont County. We played very well.
In our area, you are considered somewhat of a legend. We talked about that earlier. When it comes to soccer, has it been hard to remain humble through some of the success that you've achieved? Because you've done something that a lot of people have not had the opportunity to do. One of those things that you've been able to do was have not one, but 2 kids that played Division I soccer, which is a hard task. And then on top of it, you've been able to expand on that and been able to coach at Western Brown and at Eastern, and you've had success at the schools that you've coached at. And then you've had multiple college athletes, or high school athletes that played for you, that have played at the college level. And when you get that much success in an area that's like the area that we live in, is it hard to remain humble, or is it your passion for the game that overshadows the success and the accolades that you have been able to achieve?
Well, first of all, the tag legend is pretty big. And I don't think I'm a legend at all. I just love the game. I have a passion for the game, and I enjoy having the kids come out and be part of it. I went to Western Brown, coached at Western Brown, and then I went to Bethel for a year.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. And then I've been at Eastern for 2 years. So,
I didn't know that.
yeah.
In terms of soccer today, how do you feel about the state of soccer, youth soccer, middle school age soccer, high school soccer, development, say soccer? How do you feel the state of the game is in? I know that there's a lot of interest, but you know, I know a guy, Coach Ken French at the University of Rio Grande is a good friend of mine. And there's a guy, Coach Burrows. Coach Burrows is about 80 now, and he's an older guy. But one thing that he always says is, one person, 1,000 people with an interest is way better than one person with talent. Because you can do a lot more with someone that has interest than you can with someone that just has talent but doesn't have interest.
That's a great coach.
How do you feel about the state of youth soccer now?
Well, high school soccer in this area is getting so much better. So much better. The talented kids that go out and play soccer come back to high school and play. Youth soccer, on any given weekend, you go out, you'll see hundreds of kids that have no soccer. Whether it's out here, or local here in Brown County, Fremont County. If it's off season, you go down to Cincinnati, and you'll see hundreds, if not thousands, of kids out there playing. So soccer is huge. When we first started, we didn't have soccer. You know, I think we started Say Soccer in Hamersville. At that time, Georgetown, Russellville, Sardina was the only towns that really had soccer. So it's grown quite a bit.
I know for me coming up, Say Soccer, I played hit or miss years that Ripley had a soccer team. But the years that Ripley didn't have a soccer team, I know some of my friends went and played for like Russellville. And Russellville had like Ripley and Russellville and maybe some Hamersville kids on the team. And there was just a couple coaches or a couple parents from a couple different places. I know back then, one of the household names for youth soccer was Kathy Grennan. She had all kinds of Say Soccer teams, and they were going up to upstate, and we just thought that was cool, but we didn't have enough. You know, we may have 12 or we may have 13, and I was always envious of Georgetown Say Soccer at that time. They'd always have all the big snacks at halftime, you know, and they had big snacks, Capri Suns and oranges and fruit and stuff for halftime and after the game. And so I know that soccer has definitely grown because now in every town they've got age groups for, you know, a team for every age group. The first segment, that was the end of the first segment. That's brought to you by Butterbees and Mt.Orab and Clinton Model Aviators. Our special guest today is Dan Silvas. We do have the MOSC Adult Championship going on down in the field below. It's a great game taking place right now. So the score is 0-0. We're 12 minutes into the first half. So there's a lot of good action going on down there. Dan Silvas is our guest today. We've got to talk a little bit about Dan's background, his upcoming, what got him interested in soccer. So we'll move on to segment number 2. What do you feel that a parent's main emphasis should be when developing their athlete in the game of soccer and any sport? What should the primary goal for a parent be with a youth child playing youth sports?
Primary, I think it should be fun. Leave everything outside of it. It should be fun. Kids want to go out there and play. And they want to have so much fun that when they get home, they can't wait to go back.
Right.
I think that's the most important thing. Youth sports.
Youth sports. I do a basketball camp every summer over at Felicity. This was our third one, and every time that I'm in Felicity, when I see the kids in the halls, the first question that they ask is, when's basketball camp again? And it's because of the fun. We learn a lot, but we play games and we have contests and we make it fun and we make it worth their while. And I think that before a kid can truly establish a skill set or develop skills, they have to have a passion. And the number one way to develop a passion is through finding a pleasure. Most, they say passion is pleasure, or pleasure is passion. Anything that we're probably truly pleasurable, passionate about, we probably enjoy and pleasure, have pleasure with it. And that's the thing that, I agree with you, it's got to be fun for the kids. And I think a lot of times parents take a lot of the fun out of it for the kids with their behavior. And they had to stop U6 soccer game Thursday night. Parent was on the field, picked the ball up, stopped the game. And it was sad because I've got medallions downstairs that the U6, there was no champion. And they didn't finish the game, but more importantly, they lost their last 16 minutes of fun, like you were talking about. Tell us about Ashley and Amber and their development. I know that you love all your kids. You got 4 of them. I know you love them all the same, but those two, even though they may not hold a different place in your heart, they did save you a bunch of money. So they got some free educations. They played at Xavier University, Division I soccer athletes. I was doing some research. I looked up some of their stats. They were both, all rookie team. Amber was all conference. Ashley was on track for a great career before she injured herself. But playing a Division I sport is not easy. It's hard. It's a job.
Playing any level of college.
Any level of college is not hard. But especially at the Division I level, a lot of small schools, coaches don't have job security in winning and losing. They have job security in character development, cultural development, and preparing kids to go out and be successful in the world. And at the Division I level, your primary job, on top of everything that comes with it, is winning and being successful. Because you're easily replaceable. Because there's a coach at an NAIA school or at a D2 or D3 school that wants your job. And so, in terms of Amber and Ashley and their development, how old were they when they first got started, and how was it? What did you make it fun? And did you ever catch yourself being maybe that parent that was a little over the top with trying to? So tell us a little bit about that.
I think every parent I started out probably a little over the top. I demanded hard work and excellence. I know you as a coach, you demand that also from your high school players. I'm talking about my kids when they're 6, 7 years old. But sometimes parents do that. I have to admit that I was one of those parents. I think once they develop the passion for the game, I kind of eased back a little bit.
Yeah, it made it a little easier for you.
Yeah.
Because then they wanted it.
Sure.
And that's something that I talk to our kids about all the time. Your parents can't want it more than you do. You know, and when a parent wants their child to be successful more than their child wants to be successful, everybody involved is fighting a losing battle, and there's not going to be any positive result. So, how old were they? Do you think how old were they when you realized that they were special and that they had something about them that made them different?
Well, I don't know if I thought they were special. What it was they kind of got bored playing soccer in this area because they had that love for the game. They got so much better. And when you have twins, they have a tendency to go outside and
they can play with each other.
Play each other, yeah.
Yeah.
So they got much better, and I felt like they got bored playing in this area. So we took them down to club soccer. And they made the team.
As a parent, was your primary concern? How did you evaluate the coaching when you took them to play at the club level? Were you looking for a coach that was going to push them and bring the most out of them, get the most out of them? Were you looking for a coach that was going to give them some skills that they didn't have before and that was going to better them? Were you looking for a coach that was going to find some place for them to play at a competitive level each weekend? You know, different parents look for different things. So for you, there were certain things that you could get out of them that maybe, or that you couldn't get out of them that you maybe needed a coach to get out of them, and there were certain things that you could do that the coach couldn't do. What were your primary things that you wanted from a coach?
All of that. You know, you can't just go out and say, hey, I want a coach that really pushes in and has a passion for the game. You can't go out there and say, well, I want a coach that shows them how to teach them the quick skills. You gotta have a coach that shows all that, has a passion, and have fun, and make the kids enjoy it.
This is episode 4 of Talk Sports to Me with the Sports Guru. Special guest Dan Silvas. Today we do have the championship game of the Adult League Soccer going on. It is 1-0. Bail me out right now against a team of football players, basically, that don't play football anymore, and they picked up soccer here at the indoor level, and they're in the championship, so they're not bad. They're hacking away down there.
I've got 4 years on there that used to play high school.
And that's what I mean. And there's another 2 or 3 that are sitting right below us watching. That got put out in the semifinals. So when I say earlier, you said you didn't like being called a legend, but there's a flip side of it. When I'm in a soccer facility and there's 14 people on the field and another 30 people watching the game, and 15 or 20 of them are your past players, that speaks volumes on your impact on the game and how you touch the game locally. Tell us about some of the success that you've had through coaching in terms of league championships, sectional championships, shots at a district title or regional title, and some of the kids that you've been able to coach that have went on to play at the next level outside of Ashland.
Well, I coached almost 15 years at Western Brown. For that, 3 years of that was a boys coach. 4 years was 3 or 4 years of assistant girls. We did win the league title the first 2 years that I coached, that I had my girls, and they had won the 2 previous years.
Gotcha.
Before I got it.
Gotcha. So they won 4 in a row.
Right.
So your girls won 4 in a row, and you were privileged enough to share 2 of them with them.
Western Brown girls won.
Yeah, that's what I meant. 4 in a row.
Yes. And then I went to Bethel 3 years ago. We won the SBC title, the national title that year. And then the following year I went to Eastern Brown. In the last 2 years we been district runner-ups. Lost both games in the district finals on a heartbreaker. The year before we lost the district finals, we were up 3-2 with 4 minutes left, and we just broke down and ended up losing 4-3.
So what I can just off the top of my head, just what I'm hearing you say, you've got 2 league championships with Western Brown, another league championship over at Bethel, 2 sectional championships over at Eastern,
Right.
2 district runner-ups over at Eastern, and then you tell me I don't have any. You're not a legend.
No,
I'm not
legend.
buying it. I'm not buying it, man.
I've been blessed with a lot of
talent. You gotta have talent. You gotta have talent. You gotta have talent. What has been out of all the accolades, and if it was Ashley and Amber playing at Xavier and being on all rookie and being academic All-Americans and all the accolades that they have, if that was your most crowning achievement, take your dad hat off and put your coach hat on. What's been your most crowning achievement as a coach?
I think you see it.
Being able to come and do a podcast and see all your kids out here still with a passion for soccer.
A lot of my kids playing soccer. I've had a lot of them really solid players. They have the love of the game. I feel like I've helped create that.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly. So then I gotta ask, because I'm sure a lot of people locally want to know, and I'm sure a lot of people at Eastern want to know, and I'm not asking you to say when or anything like that. This might not have been a question on your question sheet, but how much gas do you feel you have in the tank? You still got some miles?
Yeah, absolutely. As long as I can walk and go out there and play, I'll be out there.
Well, now you're in a good position, because I see that when you come and do the clinics here, you've got a lot of good help with it. So,
yes.
And you can call, and I'd say it's safe to say, you could just about call any of these kids in here right now that played for you and say, hey, I got a clinic going on. If you're not busy Saturday, could you come up and help? And I'm sure they'd all be up here to help.
Yep.
That's how much of an impact that you've had on them. How much longer do you think you want to coach at a competitive level, as opposed to, because I know for me, I'm always going to be involved with basketball in some way, shape, or form. If I'm not the head coach somewhere, or I'm not an assistant coach somewhere, I'm still going to be involved. I'll train kids, or I'll do whatever I feel with the game, because it was my first love. And I tell our players all the time, basketball's never cheated on me, basketball's never lied to me, basketball's never stayed out all night, basketball's never left me. I've always been able to find what I needed in a gym somewhere. And I'm sure that's how soccer is to you. Rainy days turn sunny if I can walk in the gym somewhere. And so I'm sure that's what soccer is to you. So I'll always be involved with the game, but I don't necessarily know that I'll always be the head coach or want to coach at a competitive level. Do you see yourself doing that for a long time still?
I do. And I'll keep doing it until I guess the fire dies in me. But
I don't see that happening, Dan. Let's talk about the upcoming clinic. Got the clinics coming up Tuesdays and Wednesdays for the next 5 weeks, starting on the 15th, is it? 14th and 15th this week. The advanced is on Wednesdays, Tuesdays, and the beginner or intermediate basic is on Wednesdays. So tell us a little bit about that. Tell us what you'll be covering. Tell us the cost. Tell us, what your ultimate goal is with the clinics and stuff like that, and fill us in on the clinics that are coming in.
Well, clinics are Tuesday and Wednesday, like we said, 14th and 15th. For 5 weeks, $50 for 5 weeks. $10 a week. Advanced course on Tuesdays. Both courses, fun is the word. Okay, we want to have fun both courses. The advanced course is more for kids a little bit older, maybe older than 10, going into high school, that wants to learn some foot skills. and we'll do some drills that'll, help with the technical stuff. That's how I love it.
I noticed something that you do, Dan, is you always, like, parents, a lot of times come, when people do trainings and stuff like that, parents are there and want to know what they're spending their money on and who they're spending their money with. I noticed you can keep the parents pretty involved. You get them out there on the field with the kids.
You know what? Kids love that. Kids love their parents to come out and beat them up out there on the field. So we'll do that in the basic training. Because the basic is that a lot of kids that they want to have fun, but while they're having fun, you want to teach them the basic quick stuff. Okay? And they also want their parents, moms and dads, they're always looking over to moms and dads and saying, hi, and smiling at them. And we want them to come out and say, hey, work with them, I like to think that once they get home, maybe the parents will go out and
Work with them a little bit more.
Yeah. The same stuff that they can do.
Something that I have a hard time with, I work for Camp One LLC, family-owned and operated business. It's a basketball business, been around about 9 years. Do a lot of big-name basketball camps across the country and stuff like that. I would like to think that those of us that are involved in that are some of the best in the business at what we do. And, one thing that I notice a lot, and I talk to kids about, you can't come to Dan Silvas' camp for 5 hours and be a good soccer player. You have to take the skills that you learn at Dan Silvas' soccer camp, and you got to go out in the backyard and you got to work on it, and you got to get touches. And with every sport, there's a certain amount of I used to tell my players, if you can find a way to get 500 shots up a week, you'll be a good shooter. But you got to start when you're in 6th and 7th grade. You can't wait till you're in the 9th or 10th grade to start getting up 500 shots a week. You got to do it at the early ages. What type of touches? You think an hour a week, 2 hours a week, an hour a day? If you were to give a kid advice on how much time they need to put in to separate themselves, because that's what you need to do. You need to separate yourself. How much time do you think that?
Look, and I'm sure as a high school coach, you say the same thing. I tell my high school kids, you can't learn everything here in 2 hours of practice. You have to go home and touch the ball. You have to go home and go through some skill sets yourself. Go out, you can't tell them an hour, 2 hours. I tell them 10 minutes. Go out there and touch the ball 10 minutes. Maybe basketball's a little different because you're shooting, but if you shoot for 10, 15 minutes a day.
Every day?
Yeah.
It adds up.
That makes a difference.
Because everybody's not doing that.
Absolutely.
And that's what you, as an athlete with a passion, that's what you want to do. You want to separate yourself. All good athletes want to separate themselves from the pack a little bit. Great athletes separate themselves from the pack a lot. And that's what has to happen is you got to get touches on the ball. You got to get shots or whatever. You got to get swings. People stay in those. It's the same. I see the same kids here in the batting cages all the time. It's the same kids, day in and day out, 2 or 3 times a week. It's the same kids. They'll come, they'll pay $30 for an hour, or they'll get 10 tokens, or they'll do whatever they got to do to get swings. Here's the kicker. Those are the same kids that I read about in the newspaper. Those are the same kids that I see make the all leagues. So it's not an accident. There's a reason for it, and it's because they're putting in the time. So your advanced clinics are on Tuesdays from 5 to 6, and the basic is on Wednesdays from 5 to 6. And on Tuesdays we've got U8 soccer going on. So if you play U8 soccer, the league starts next week on the 20th. But go ahead and bring your kids out this week to Dan's clinic, and then you can bring them every week at 5, and they can just stay here for their games on Tuesdays. Then U12, I believe, is on Wednesdays. So on Wednesdays, you can do the same thing. So if your kid is on Tuesday night, U8, if they're advanced, you can get them in. If they're not advanced, They can play their game on Tuesday. They can come to Dan's clinic on Wednesday from 5 to 6. The beginner is on Wednesday from 5 to 6.
Right.
And so on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, our games will start about 6:15 because we do have clinics from 5 to 6.
I do recommend everybody come a little early to maybe stretch out. And
Okay.
The first day to register.
To register?
And then after that, maybe stretch out and get loosened up a little bit before you start.
Okay. Is there any way that we can that people can pre-register? Tell the people that are watching how they can pre-register.
They can call here,
They
right?
can call here. Yep. We've taken some pre-registrations. We've also got some people that are wanting to register the day of. I told them they could register the day of. We'd like you to go ahead and pre-register. Call up here or send an email to Mt.Orab Sports Complex, ad.com. Mt.Orab Sports Complex, ad.com. You can send an email. And I'll get the email, and I've got a Google Sheet set up. I'll just go right in the Google Sheet, and I'll put your name in for advanced on Tuesday or basic on Wednesday. So it's easy to register. Call here, or you can get online and you can look and find our phone number and email address, and you can do it that way. Or you can inbox me at Jason Thompson on Facebook, or you can inbox the Mt.Orab Sports Complex Facebook page. Any way you choose to do it, whatever's easiest for you, I will get you registered. Pay the day of. We're just trying to get a count on how many kids we're going to have. Before we go, Dan, is there any special shout-outs that you would like to give before we go off the air? Anybody you'd like to thank that's given you an opportunity, or anybody that has been, in your corner, because I know as a coach, we're not always the most pleasant people, or that people don't always like everything that we do. I do know that. But who I do appreciate are the people that support me for seeing my vision way bigger than a win-loss record, or way bigger than the season or the game at hand, because my vision is much greater than that. Your vision is much greater than that. And I'm grateful for those people that support me through that. Is there anybody you'd like to say thanks to before we get off the air?
Well, I'm not going to name names because I feel like I'm going to leave somebody out. But the biggest person, I guess, is my wife. Just puts up with long nights and late suppers. And, but there's a lot of people out there, and part of my coaching career, I guess. A lot of different coaches out there that help out my girls. A lot of coaches that help, taught me. So, I thank everybody. I want to thank all the parents for your support. Yeah, for your support. Come out on Tuesday and Wednesday. We're going to have a lot of fun. We have a lot of trainers here that know what we're doing.
So if you can't come out on Tuesday or Wednesday of this week, you will be allowed. You can come in the second, third, fourth week, right? Is that correct? You don't have to be there the first week. So if you miss the first week, come the next week. It'll cost you $40. The next week it'll cost you $30, whatever. So it's $50 for the 5-week session. We'll charge you $10 a session if you can only get out to 1 or 2 sessions. It's not about the money with Dan. It's not about the money with us. We do need to generate some kind of revenue to keep the lights on and to pay for being in the building. But this clinic is to help establish and help continue to grow the soccer culture in Brown County, in the area, in Mt.Orab. We're doing it with one of the best. He won't say that. He won't tell us that. But we heard his accolades. He's got sectional championships. He's got district runner-ups. He's got league championships. He's got kids that played at the next level. The guy knows soccer. He's good to have your kids around. It's a fun experience for your kids. That's the biggest thing that he focuses on. So, please get out Tuesday for the advanced, and get out Wednesday for the basic. The score is 3-1 in the soccer game, adult championship game. Trenton Weeks just scored a goal. Trenton Weeks is from Bethel. We got Zach Boston, Jeffrey Botts out there. Got a good soccer game going on down there. We do have to sign off the air. Our half hour is up. every Tuesday and Wednesday for the next 5 weeks. Dan Silva's soccer training, elite soccer training. Tuesdays is advanced. Wednesdays is basic. $50 for the 5 weeks. We appreciate you tuning in. And Dan, for episode 4 of Talk Sports to Me with the Sports Guru, I appreciate you coming.
Thank you.
And we'll see you Tuesday night.
I'll be here.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks.
Don't shoot it!
Well done.
Thanks, sir.
You did good. I'm not a public speaker.
That's why I had to ask all the questions to get it out of you. Is it 3-2? Oh, look at those lovers. They look so cute. Yeah, you, Courtney. Oh no, you make this place go for us in the soccer stuff, man. You make this stuff go for us with the soccer stuff. You give us some credibility.
I'll train.
That's a familiar sight. I've seen that a million times. Adam, stay there. We'll go live for the award ceremony right after the game. Right?